Welcome to the Flash Beginners project provided by masterflash.net. Best way to view this video is by selecting 720 and going HD full screen. That way the video will clean up for you pretty fast. This particular tutorial is about 6 parts, last around six and a half hours. We basically run through creating the entire interface. And pretty solid tutorial. You get to load Swift files, images, script tweens through Actionscript, and all sorts of good stuff. Shows you how to work the timeline. Very good stuff. So to set the stage for this one, since it is 6 hours long, we're basically going to go ahead and take a little bit of a snippet of video, later on down in the tutorial, like part 3 or part 4, basically in hours 3 and 4. And obviously this is going to be real short, but what we're going to go ahead and show you is just, applying some ActionScript to animate a motion tween, but specifically through ActionScript by not using the timeline. All right, here it is. We'll need to resize this up a little bit. It's probably a little too big. All right, we're going to do a different kind of tween right here. All right, and basically what I'm going to show you how to do is something called the pixel dissolve. All right, it's basically a built-in motion tween that Flash offers through ActionScript. All right, very cool tween. So if we double click out here, let's go ahead and name this instance name. We can call this photo gal. All right. And what we can do, we can insert a keyframe right here. All right, bring your actions in here. And what we can do here is basically import transitions, import fl.transitions **, semicolon, next line, import fl.transitions *easing **, semicolon, next line, transition manager .start, opening parentheses, we can reference our photo gal, comma, opening bracket, type, colon, pixel dissolve, comma, direction, colon, transition .in, comma, duration, we can set this to maybe, I don't know, 1 second, comma, easing, colon, regular, ease in. We don't need that parentheses though. Actually, let me reset this so you can see. All right, there we go. All right, regular, ease in, comma, and for the pixel dissolve, it has to break it down in pixels. So what we can say is X sections, colon, start this with 10, Y sections, start this with 10 also, closing bracket, closing parentheses, semicolon. All right, so I just want to make sure that we've got the right name here. Photo gal. All right, good, good. Okay, next thing that we need to do is we need to extend this timeline a little bit. All right, and of course this is going to be kind of rocky at first, but should be good to go. All right, kind of running through the timeline and playing on out. Of course, it'd look better if we had text in here. All right, it's going to fade out, it's going to fade in, this is going to fade out, and watch the pixel dissolve. Kind of cool. And what you can do is you can take those actions, all right, and basically set your sections up a little bit more to break it down. So if I wanted to set this at 30 and set this at 30, check out the difference. All right, very cool stuff. Okay, So you've got other options. All right. For example, if I wanted to have this transition out on down the timeline, all right, instead of creating a motion tween, what I can do is all I have to do is insert another keyframe here. Okay. Insert another keyframe here. All right. Drop my actions down. Paste that action script. Okay. And instead of transition in, I can set this to transition out in all capital letters. All right. So as we watch this again, I know we're kind of killing time here, but you can have it transition out as well as transitioning in. I don't know if there's enough time on the timeline for that to actually transition out before the next one shows up. Yeah, I need to extend it a little bit. But as you saw, you can have it transition out a little bit. Need to extend this timeline just a tad. All right. Okay, so that's one option. All right, so another one of your options could be to actually, let's see, instead of using the pixel dissolve, all right, you've got several classes, okay, and what I would suggest doing is just kind of looking up the transition class, all right. What you could say, well, we need this, break this apart, all right, what we could say is transition manager dot start, opening parentheses, photo gal, comma, opening bracket, type, colon, fade, colon, fade, comma, direction, colon, transition, in. Obviously you can set this to out, whatever you want to do. Duration, could probably set this to maybe 2 seconds. Easing, colon, you can say strong, dot ease out. Oops, not has own property, but dot ease out. All right, closing bracket, closing parentheses, semicolon. So instead of it pixel dissolving in, we can have it basically alpha in. All right, and obviously we need to wait to the that last image on that part of the timeline. It basically creates a smoother transition. Okay, looks a lot better. As you saw, it just kind of floated in and then pixels out. All right, heads back to its own part of the timeline. So with that little time in there, that allows me to kind of manipulate the timeline a little bit. Need to cut off some of these frames. All right, and actually, I want to make that perfect. So let's see how this works. All right, part 5, obviously, or part 6. Obviously, if you watch the end of part 5, you're thinking, "What an idiot! What is he doing?" I forgot to do the most important part of this, which is the frame anchors, okay, or label anchors, which basically allows the user to use their back button through Flash. And I kind of want to show you how to do this because really, it's all about being able to backspace and make use of your Flash file. Now, this is not the only way to do it, and it's not the best way to do it. However, it is a good solution. What you need to do is on each of your frame labels in here is get in your properties panel, okay? By looking at this label, down here we have the option for naming a type, okay? If we come down here and set this to anchor, check it out. That frame label, the flag, now becomes a little golden anchor, all right? So what we need to do is we need to set this up for all of these, all right? And I'm just going to kind of come in here and change all of them in there, all right? Okay, not comment, anchor. Okay, I can't stand some of this stuff, all right? I'm going to actually clean up this timeline a little bit, and I hope you guys don't mind. Alright, I just hate excess timeline for some reason. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and I'm going to clean up the rest of this. Make sure I got all those layers, not all of them. Okay, so whenever you set named anchors, all right, I'm going to have to bring Dreamweaver in here in a second. And anytime you name that, what you have to do is you have to come into your publish settings, okay? As soon as they're set up as anchors, all you have to do, hit edit, come over here to HTML, all right? For your template, what you want to select is named anchors, okay? Once you do that, you can select publish, all right? And then, of course, make sure you save your document. And obviously, coming back into the file that you downloaded, all right, this is what we just published right here. What this is allowing us to do, bringing this in here real quick. I'm actually going to set up the margins in here so this looks appropriate. Okay. Let's see, what do we have? Where is it? Okay, down here. Basically setting up anchors inside of your Flash file, okay? Button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. Obviously the titles of our frame labels, okay? And just remember that right now we've got this set at 100 by 100%, okay? So ultimately I'm not going to show you much, but what we have as far as this goes, okay? Now the most important part of this is watch. Right here, all right? Obviously it went to button 1, it named the anchor, so if I hit button 2, okay, it goes to button 2, basically allowing me to back up. Okay, I'm basically using the backspace button. All right, got all this stuff going on. Out to 5, I can kind of backspace through it. Button 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. Okay, just a very cool way for you to allow something like that to happen. All right, to catch the rest of the Flash Beginners project, go ahead and head towards masterflash.net. Search the title Flash Beginners Project, and you'll be able to locate where you can find the source files, notes, and all the good stuff that come with this. Very good tutorial, very long. Hope you enjoy it.